Hi, so I'm going to be going over Neo4j and what I learned over the weekend about graph databases. Neo4j has a lot of different tools that you can use. I started off trying with AuraDB, which is a database of sorts. It's They've got like a sandbox, a browser, a database. I don't even know what else, so it's kind of difficult to figure out like where you should start. But I started with this. This is Stack Overflow. It represents the different entities that exist and their properties and their relationships. So as you can see, it's a lot easier to understand this in a graph than it would be looking at something like this. The relationships in here are represented by these little arrows with relationships. And in here, all we get is like these join tables with a primary key and a foreign key. So I really like the visual representation of these. Like a user can, this is a question. I don't know what, I clicked this button and it went away. So anyways, that's like the directional arrow like matters. Like a user commented a comment. The comment was commented on in the question, I think is how that all goes. The question was tagged with a tag. Anyways, I think it's just really cool. And I think cypher is awesome. I think it's so much easier to read than an SQL query. Like this is the node with a label of person. It can have key value pairs of properties, a key of name with a value of Dan. And the relationship is that Dan loves this person. So I think it would be really worth learning more about this and how to use it. I did just start kind of a tutorial with this data set. This is called Northwind, and they have a lot of these types of like tutorials with data sets and kind of walking you through how it works. I think the takeaway here is that Neo4j is for large data sets with complex relationships. It's not going to be really needed for like a personal project. But I think that, this whole thing is really cool. So all I had to do here was just start out a new code sandbox, blank code sandbox. I did play Northwind graph. I went through and played these. It's not going to do anything because I've already clicked on that in a previous try of the video. So basically we have these nodes, and these nodes, each node represents what a table would be. The cool thing about Neo4j is like it's very much like a linked list in the way that you're like traversing data, the properties, the relationships and stuff, like when it's being traversed, it just looks like a linked list. And you start at an anchor, which is an index. It's not indexed in the way that we're used to thinking about it with like a primary key and a foreign key, but it's more of an identifier. Like, hey, start at this product with ID 4 and find the supplier or find the category. It's a lot quicker at traversing difficult relationships, is what I'm trying to say. Things that are very nested and would require many different where statements, join statements in a SQL type statement. That ends up being narrowed down to like 2 lines of cipher, and that makes things a lot easier, obviously, when you have a huge data set. I wasn't, where was my tutorial? Where did that whole thing go? I hope that my recording is recording because it is like glitching out right now. Oh shoot, this is a whole new sandbox now. Anyways, lots of resources. I wish I could show more. I think you can like just do db.relationships, db.show. Oh, here we go. This is where I was. Find the most popular products, copy to clipboard, and I don't need that one. Play. No, I want to see it. Okay, so now I added some things. Ooh, what's the product name? Product name. I don't know the values. Maybe it'll just show us all the product names. Invalid input. Okay. I'm going to pause this and begin. Okay, so basically I just ran through the rest of these. It added 6 labels, created 6 nodes. I created an index on order with order ID. And like I was saying, that's just how you're going to be able to access that node and then traverse from there. Lots and lots of data anyways, to keep going through this. This is just going through more of how an order is related to a product. This is funny because I think it actually has a lot to do with Great Shopper. Join tables are always a sign of a data relationship, and you can share information between 2 other records. Well, directly, so this would be like order products or product orders in a join table. And here they're just putting a relationship in the graph. So I don't know if I'm having to do this every single time. Why does it keep telling me to do that? What the hell? Query language fundamentals. Create clause. Okay, so anyways, you get the idea. It's a cool graph. Looks like this. Lots of fun stuff going on here. It uses the cypher language to query. I would like to learn more about how to use it. Obviously, this video is long enough, so that's all I have on that part. Other things that I looked into, I downloaded this Postman interceptor, which will like automatically save cookies and stuff to your Postman. Weirdly, I was trying to figure out how to like bypass Google and make it so that I didn't have to like see all their stupid ads and stuff. So if I turn this thing on, yeah, it'll capture cookies, capture requests on. And if I go to GraphQL and I need to look at these, I learned that all Google search requests are formed with a search parameter with a question mark, Q equals blah, 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 blah. So now if I open this up, let's see, how do I get my cookies? Oh yeah, so here's the cookies that it saved. I have no idea really what it means. I am also wanting to learn more about cookies, but I think it's really cool that there is an extension that will capture cookies. Anyways, I started with trying to figure all that stuff out. Then I learned about web scraping, and that I think that has to do with like service workers or like programming robots to basically like cull through other websites and find relevant information and save it or index it and use it. And where was that website crawling? A guide on everything you need to know. So yeah, this robots.txt file basically like tells you what you can and can't crawl on Google, and you can't crawl search. So that was a bust. Anyways, I learned like lots of, I don't know, random and interesting things that I was like, oh, I didn't know what that was or how that worked. Web scraping is an automatic way to retrieve unstructured data from a website and store them in a structured format. Also, an e-commerce example. Google does not allow web scraping for many of its sub-websites, however, it allows certain tasks like /mfinance, but I tried that earlier and it doesn't work. A lot of like useless ones work though, like search about anything that takes you to like their shit works. I don't know, kind of don't really understand fully this whole why would you web scrape and stuff, so can't really explain that part. I did when I was doing the ORDB, I did a little bit of coding, created friendship between Alice and David found person Alice. That's what this code does. I figured out .env. I had used it before, but I didn't really remember like exactly how to implement it. Basically, you install the package .env, and in your file where you want to use username, password, whatever, you just call it by process.env.user or whatever you named it over here. That I think is pretty cool. .env is also automatically ignored by Git, so it won't ever upload those things to your Git repo for everyone to see. Currently, I am going back to GraphQL and doing shoot, I have it in here too. Doing this React and Apollo tutorial, and I am going to get to that now. I wanted to create a short video to go through this, but this is already 15 minutes long, so I'm gonna have to trim.